What's up, weebs? Jordan here. So, Jujutsu Kaisen manga chapter 156 spoilers are out. If you do not want to be spoiled for Jujutsu Kaisen, I suggest not watching this video, but hitting the subscribe button, leaving a like, and checking out some of my other content on the channel. Things are getting extra spicy in the Jujutsu Kaisen manga series. There is some interesting things going on with certain characters. Curse techniques are a little confusing. We're going to try to go over all the details today in this chapter about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 156. So, as always, I get my Jujutsu Kaisen spoilers from Ducky on Twitter. Go give him a follow if you want to be ahead of the game on Jujutsu Kaisen. And bear with me today on these spoilers because it's basically going to be one giant explanation of a curse technique. In this chapter, we're going to get Megami versus Kirara, and the bulk majority of these spoilers are explaining Kirara's curse technique. So I'm just going to basically put it on the screen, read it to you, and we're going to try to kind of put it together, figure it out, sort of construct an idea of this very complex curse technique from Kirara. Fushiguro notices a star plus the word Akrux written on his rabbits. Plus, there's a Garkrux written on the door. He asks Panda to check his own body and they find the MA marking. Plus, Fushiguro also has the Arcrux on his own body. So there's all these different markings on all of the characters from Kirara's cursed technique, and they're trying to basically figure out what's going on. He figures out that Kirara's technique uses the Southern Cross constellation as a motive, thanking Sumiki in his mind for telling him about it. So it's a very confusing curse technique. Bear with me. I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys can read it along with me. Thank you to Ducky on Twitter writing it all out. It is very, very confusing. Okay, Kirara's curse technique. It's based on the Crux, also known as the Southern Cross. There are 5 stars in the Southern Cross constellation, and Kirara splits their cursed energy between them. Things that are marked with the name of the same star are attracted to each other, which is why Panda got attracted to the car, and also why Fushiguro was attracted to the divine dog. So basically, she is marking different things based on star constellations, and they are being attracted or pushed away from each other based on where the markings are in the order of the stars in the constellation. Very confusing. For things marked with the name of one star to approach another star, they must go in order. This order is based on the depth of the stars. Even though stars appear to be on a single plane, when we look at them, they naturally have a depth to them. And a side note, because they exist in 3D space. And their distance from the Earth varies. Thus, in order for Fushiguro, who has Arcrux attached to him, to reach the door which has Garkrux applied to it, he must go past Mimosa and Genin. There is a diagram in the manga that demonstrates this, showing the order as Earth, Garkrux, which is the door, Genin, which is Kirara, Mimosa, which is a concrete block, and Arcrux, which is Fushiguro, and Ma, which is Panda. The distance order is Earth, Garkrux, Genin, Mimosa, Arcrux, Ma, and it shows in this tweet basically how far each one is apart from each other. So this is big brain curse technique energy. It's not that difficult once you actually get into it, but just reading it out loud, it took me really just now from reading it. I read it a few times before this video, but it's just a little complicated to understand, and I hope that this graph that they show in the manga is going to exponentially help this explanation, because with Jujutsu Kaisen in general, we've had very difficult times with certain curse techniques exactly understanding what's going on, and Kirara is on that same ballpark. It's just very confusing, but at the same time, extremely cool. Having found out most of that, Fushiguro thanks Sumiki and wins the fight and immobilizes Kirara. So in this chapter, we are going to get a big fight between Fushiguro and Kirara, and the bulk majority is just going to be sort of explaining this very extremely difficult curse technique, which I like. I don't mind a few chapters just taking their time, fully explaining the depth of these curse techniques, Jiji Akutami is taking his time and doing an extremely in-depth job of the power system in Jujutsu Kaisen. Megami, so it really was the Southern Cross after all. Thanks, Sumiki. And that's just him saying it out loud, that he's thankful that he paid attention to Sumiki and the Southern Cross constellation knowledge that he gained from her. Fukushira is simply able to defeat Kirara by getting the Divine Dog to pounce on Kirara's back. In the end, it shows that he never dispelled the Divine Dog, only forced it to be held against a wall that was between them, which physically prevented the dog from flying at him. And then Fukushira released the dog when Kirara was directly between them. So Megami figures out the main theory behind Kirara's curse technique, and through his big brain energy, sort of navigates his way around this plane and gets to Kirara. Takes her down very easily because I'm assuming they are not a very strong opponent. It's just that they have a very extremely difficult curse technique to figure out. But our boy Megami figures it out in the end and takes Kirara down. Okay, I hope that this was somewhat not too confusing for you. If you like these spoilers, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like if you are hyped on Jujutsu Kaisen. I am gonna get out of here. I will catch you next time. Peace.